This is Reed Seals for AM 1340 WGRV. I'm here with 5th District Commissioner candidate on the Republican ticket, Ruben Garcia. And Ruben, first off, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you, Reed. Thank you. First, I want to say thank you to giving me this opportunity, of course, to address the people of this marvelous Greene County area and to tell you a little bit about myself. Well, I was born in Panama, nearby the Canal Zone. I spent my years at the Canal Zone. In 1963, I decided to come to the United States to further my careers because there was little limitations in Panama. In 1965, I went ahead and also entered the U.S. Army because my draft number was soon to be coming up, and I thought it would be wiser to go ahead and enter it. I've always fascinated with aviation, so I really wanted to go into some sort of aviation field in the Army, and I was fortunate enough that I was able to acquire that. I went to, after Fort Ord, California for my basic training. I went over to Newport News, Virginia, to Transportation School and became an aviation technician. Shortly after that, I was assigned to the 4th Infantry Division at Fort Lewis, Washington, which was getting ready to go to Vietnam. But then, of course, there was another assignment again, and I was transferred over to Fort Benning, Georgia, to a CH-47 Chinook company, which is one of those illustrious helicopters of our time. And now, of course, they were getting ready to go to Vietnam, too. So I was with them, went to Vietnam. After completing my tour in Vietnam, I went ahead and decided to get out and continue my education. In this case, I went to Virginia Commonwealth University to complete 2 years of college out of a 4-year program. And then decided to return back to the U.S. Army and enter flight school. I went to Warrant Officer a school in Middle Wells, Texas, and primary training, of course. And once I completed that, I was sent to Fort Rock, Alabama for advanced tactical training. After completing that and earning my wings, I was assigned to Fort Hood, Texas, to the famous 707 team. And after that, of course, I spent 2 or 3 years doing tactical training, all the trainings. And after that, I was given the opportunity to have a transition, which means to learn to something about a new helicopter. And of course, my fascination was CH-47, the big Chinook, the big heavy-duty, heavy cargo helicopter. And of course, I went over to Fort Rock, Alabama again, completed that training, and went to Germany. While in Germany, I worked with NATO countries in various operations, military operations throughout. I was all over from Italy and Spain. I was in England, so many other places too. And once I completed that overseas tour, I returned back to the United States, requested a release from active duty to attend, of course, Austin Peay State University, which I'm a graduate with a master's degree in psychology and, of course, a minor in school administration. I'm also a graduate of the University of Maryland with a degree in business management, so I'm very thoroughly experienced in both aspects of it. And then after that, I was assigned to Capitol Army Education Center as a counselor. And then came an opportunity, a very, very good opportunity that the Special Forces, which back then we known as the Special Operation Forces, the SOF as they call them, the Green Berets were looking for a director. And my name popped out, and I went for the interview. And immediately I was offered the job to become the director of language training for the Special Operation Forces. At that time, there were core difficulties that they were having, and they were looking for someone with a fresh mind that had a background in education, training, and of course, psychology. And in doing so, they put me in charge, basically, of a school that was running approximately for 5 languages, which are just basic. You know, Spanish, Portuguese, Arabic, and Persian Farsi. And they were looking to expand. And they were looking for a civilian individual to be able to carry on into this duty. And so they offered me, I stayed with them until 1997. Throughout those years, oh my goodness, I went through meetings in the Pentagon. I worked with other federal agencies such as the CIA, the National Cryptological School, the Defense Language Institute. And I was accomplished quite a few tasks that were originally the milestone for the Special Forces. Originally, as our mission were global, and most of those people that knows about the Green Berets say that I'm a little bit biased, but we do have unique missions. We do little with little and accomplish a lot. And that's what I want to bring to this government here, this local government, because it's feasible as long as you have the means and the purpose in how to do it. After completing with them in 97, I came to Greenville to be a cattle farmer, which I was for a little while. And of course, I continued teaching psychology for two colleges local, of course, the Walter State and Tusculum. And in the last 3 years, since then, I've been basically writing. I'm a researcher of spiritual teaching, and I do have a web page. And that's basically it. And then recently I was talking to some of my, I call it colleagues, neighbors. And I had a sense of that they were frustrated with what's going on and the dissolution that they're having. They were disheartened with what's going on, that the local government is really not working toward them. And the economy, is no offense, is in what I call an air stale atmosphere. Everybody's growing around, and here we're sitting down like it. So after long consideration of my experiences, my attitude, and discussing it with my family, I decided, well, let me run. I think I can help the people of this great county and bring about my experiences, but not only that, but also my foresight of what it should be. And that's what I'm here. And hopefully the great people of this county, especially in my district, the 5th, will recognize that they do have someone that can speak for their behalf, their rights, their needs. And I will tell them the truth. That will be my complete oath, is that I will owe them. The loyalty is to them, not to the special interest.
Well, you've kind of already answered this question to an extent, but is there anything else you'd like to say about why you decided to run for election?
Well, that's the key here is the experience. I can tell you that working such as operations with the special forces in Just Cause, Grenada, Desert Shield, Desert Storm, and all these other ones, I can tell you the intricacy of getting programs or proposal, whatever that you need to accomplish a mission. Our mission in the King County is to become progressive. Let's be very realistic. I'm very honest. I'm very bold, and I would tell this to my people as I begin to do my campaign. Is if we keep going this way we are, I wouldn't be surprised in 2 generations we'll become the little Detroit of East Tennessee. And that would be a sad thing to happen. I am a person, I'm not, well, I would say inside of the box. I think outside of the box. And I think that the government in this county in the last few years has been thinking inside of the box. They've been borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. And to keep adding taxes and fees to this residents, which are already in a survival mode, it's not a wise management. I'm sorry, and it's not a good concept of a good leadership. So it is my hope that the leadership, the new one that is coming, that people go out and vote as they were life dependent on it. And it doesn't matter whether you're Republican, you're Democrat, you're Independent. Vote for something that you know that has the principles that will take care of you, your children. Because when we get elected, let's think about it. We're going to need to think about our children. This is the future of our children. And if they are leaving, and this is so funny, and I will discuss this more in detail in my campaign, is that we're making an argument about getting a consolidated school. Well, to have consolidated school, you have to have population. The way we're going, if everybody, all students are leaving and not coming back here, pretty soon you will not be looking at consolidation. You'll be looking at closing schools. So it's imperative that we start looking at a very realistic, well-defined program in this county. And this is the year, 2018. This is the era of illumination. This is the era of awakening. And I hope the residents of this county are bold enough, take it as a challenge to themselves, says, we need to change our ideology. We need to take this bold statement. We need to do this, not for us, but for all of them. And as you know, this affects everybody, from dairy farmer, cattle farmer, to workers. There's no one single entity. It's a wholesome. So definitely, it's going to be a arduous task, laborious, of course. But I hope that the folks that are selected by or elected by the people of this county realize that they owe that to the people. We ambassadors, by the way, we ambassadors to the people that send us. And in such manner, we need to act. Okay, just like an ambassador protects the privileges and rights of the American people throughout the world, we need to do the same thing for our county. And I'm tired, no offense, and I'm disheartened to see that we only get handouts, for economy, while everybody else around is getting all kinds of a more advanced situation. But I can see again, I will further explain my proposals, my ideas, and my point of views to the people when the time comes.
You mentioned school consolidation. What is your opinion on that?
I will tell you up front that I'm a witness of that situation, or shall we say that, of that ideology. I have children right now, grandchildren, and my children went through here to the school, to the system. And I also have children that have that attend the consolidated school. I would tell you, by experience, by observation, and by words from my own children that were in California, that does not serve a very good purpose. You have seen it already in the news, what happens. They become numbers. It's more important that they have a sort of like a pool for sports. And technology is there, true, but kids do not use the technology. They use more of the device they have in their hands, really, what there's available in school. There's a need to teach it. Yeah, the teacher can use it as a platform for instruction. But in the long run, not unless you have a really objective, and this is the drawback, this is what I do not, and I say it again, I do not support this consolidation, is because the main point that they need to address, they have not addressed it. Again, they're thinking inside the box. I know there has been some emotional tones, and some of them are, substantiated. I'm not going to say no. But you cannot be thinking inside of the box. You have to think outside and say, what are the more important factors that I'm making? And so far, I don't see anybody addressing those things. And those are the future of our children. Okay, we're looking at the cost. Yeah, that's a high cost. Let's be very realistic. Okay? But I think that in reality, it can be used in a more, I would say, substantial, well, and tangible way in what we already got. And in addition, there's other factors that go psychological. Of course, I'm being a psychologist. I can tell you that there are some psychological things that have to be considered before you make any actions like that. And so I would like to address, though, again, in a more lengthy way with individuals. So they pointed out that the esprit de corps, which is a very important aspect of any school right now, it will be lost. And my sons, of course, I have my daughter who came from California, moved to Tennessee, to Middle Tennessee, because she said that we cannot do this. My children are not learning anything or anything. And she came up to live, moved to Franklin, and she's so happy with the school system. They have a relationship, one-to-one. The teachers know them. The key ingredient for self-esteem is there. And I think that's one of the things we will lose immensely, other than the fact that we lose also workforce, staff, and other things. But like I said again, I will address those more in detail as we progress.
And what are your plans if you are elected as commissioner?
To be bold and to work for the people. Simple as that. I want to help them. I have been all over this world. This is not like I have been all over this world. I've been in places where people only dream to be. Secondly, I have seen other societies, other culture working together. And they work together, and they advance, they progress. So I know that there's a disunity in our county. I'm not going to deny that there's a disunity, a sense of negativism, a sense of depression. We need someone in there to start saying, okay, we stop here, draw the line on the sand, and says we need to start becoming more bold, more enforcer, and basically what you're saying, as always, let's put the people with the foot on the fire.
And is there anything else you'd like to say before we go?
Well, my biggest thing is, my people, as I would say, the people of this county, please go out and vote. Energize yourself, challenge yourself. You're not working for yourself. You're not working for special interests. You're working for your children and your children's children. Remember, no matter what everybody tells you about that, well, they're going to go away. I know the people that are elite in the community, they're going to send their kids to UT, they're going to send to ETSU, and those children were gone. But how are the ones that are left behind? What are you doing for the ones that you leave behind? That's the key. Don't think about the ones that are going to graduate, become doctors, lawyers, and whatever it is, and you, in turn, think about the ones that are left behind, the ones that want to continue being farmers, ones that want to continue providing for your subsistence while you're here. That's the key. And that's my biggest point of it, is to remember those are the ones that are left behind, not the ones that are leaving.
That was Ruben Garcia. He is running for 5th District Commissioner on the Republican ticket. This is Reed Seals for AM 1340 WGRV.